If you close your eyes and you see nothing but blackness, this means that your pineal gland is covered in rock minerals and metals, and we have to clean that off. So we all have this pineal gland in the center of our head. It's an actual eye with rods and cones on it. This is scientifically proven. And if you can't see this light, try it with me right now. Close your eyes, look in the center of your vision, and see if you see a light, see if you see colors. If you see colors or light, try to focus on that and see if you can open up a tunnel. This is the beginning of astral traveling. Now, if you can't see anything but blackness, don't feel bad, because this is how I was prior to 7 years ago. Now, I was able to open this up after cleaning my body out to a great extent. I'm going to tell you exactly how I did that over the course of these next videos. Okay, so the first thing you need to understand is that if you can't see anything but blackness when you close your eyes, it's because you have this covering over this third eye. This third eye is an actual eye with rods and cones on it. It's in the center of your head, and it's looking up at the immortal ball of light that you are. We are all a ball of light. We are all a soul. So when you close your eyes, you should actually be able to see your soul. All right, isn't that a beautiful thing? Now, if you can't see it, don't feel bad. We can absolutely fix that. That's what I'm here to help you with. Okay, so the first thing from my guide, I have a guide, but first, please put down a comment down below. Let me know what you're seeing. If you see colors, try to open up a tunnel. Try to focus on those colors or light and open up a tunnel. If you can't do that very easily or not at all, then you know that you need to clean your body out further, all right, by using these techniques that I'm going to outline in the next few videos. So the first thing I'd like to talk about from my guide, I wrote a guide on everything that I did prior to 7 years ago to unlock this ability, and all the further research over the last 7 years that I've done, which has told me a lot of things that I didn't do during those 7 years to expedite this process. Okay, so it took me about 6 months to clean out my gland. It may take you 3 months. It depends on how hard you go at this. If you use all of the supplements from my guide, if you follow all of the recommendations to a T, then you could do this probably faster than I did, because I wasn't aware of some of these beautiful supplements that I've outlined in my guide. Now, the guide is linked in my bio. If you're curious, you can check that out. I also have a free community. If you want to join my free community, check down below. I will have a link to that. So the first thing from my guide that I use to clean out my pineal gland, one of the pillars of my guide, is distilled water. Now, the reason why distilled water is so powerful to clean out our pineal gland is because it has nothing in it. It has 0 parts per million total dissolved solids. Now, this is an amazing thing because it allows for a huge vacuuming effect into that water. And so the things that should not be in your body, should not be on this pineal gland, get vacuumed into that water and pulled out of your body. Now, things like spring water, alkaline water, well water, filtered tap water, all of those waters, they have inorganic rock minerals in them. And what that does is 2 things. It makes it so that 90% of those minerals actually get stuck in the body, and your body has to try to kick them out. And then so only 10% of those minerals are actually utilized by the body. So people think that they're getting a lot of these minerals absorbed into their body and utilized, but only about 10% of them are. Now, I like to look at water as a cleanser for my body as opposed to a mineral supplement or an alkalizing agent, okay? Now, these other waters, the spring water, the alkaline water, the well water, the filtered tap water, they all have a high amount of parts per million total dissolved solids, which means that they're full of stuff, okay? So that stuff that's in that water makes it so that water can't really grab much more, and it can't pull things into it like the distilled water does. So there's 2 things. It leaves behind inorganic rock minerals that can cause stiffness in your body and pain. In my body, it caused my back to be stiff. In your body, it may cause your knees to be stiff, or your elbows, or your wrists. So this is a huge reason why I like to use distilled water. Now, to get minerals, you may be thinking, well, what about the minerals? What about the electrolytes I need? Now, where I get my minerals and electrolytes are from fruits, from greens, green juices, salads, things like that. Those have organic minerals. Now, organic minerals are utilized by the body at 100% rate, or nearly 100%. And those organic minerals are meant for our body. So the minerals in our body are organic minerals. The minerals that consist of our bones, of our teeth, are organic minerals. So those are the type of minerals that we need to be using. And so that's a very powerful way that I cleanse my body. That's one pillar of my guide. Now the next thing I would like to talk about in this video from my guide that will help get rid of the metals that are covering this gland and the inorganic minerals are green juices. Green juices have an amazing ability to pull these things out of our body, okay? They have organic minerals that bind to these inorganic minerals and pull them out of our body, all right? So heavy metals and things like that. The chlorophyll in green juices has a superior ability to pull this stuff out of our body. Now, if you haven't noticed, the reality that we live in is full of microwave technology, electromagnetic frequencies, and we're literally walking around in a microwave. So it's very important to get these metals out of our body, not just for opening our third eye, but for interacting in today's society and not having our bodies be affected negatively by these frequencies, because they interact with the metals in our body. It's just like if you put metal in a microwave. What happens to the metal when you put it in a microwave? It heats up and sparks. We do not want that happening inside of our body, okay? So we've got to get these things out of our body as quickly as possible, and they're continuing to come in from all sorts of different avenues, from the air, from the water, from the food. So we have to continually do this. We have to continually work on this. That's why I like to drink distilled water every time I drink water. That's the type of water I drink for the rest of my life. That's the water that I will drink. And I used to drink spring water, and sometimes if that's all I have available, I will drink that. And it's great if that's all you have. But distilled water is the most pure water because it has nothing in it, okay? And that's God's water. God creates distilled water through the ecosystem. So when water evaporates from the oceans and then rains down on us from the clouds, that is distilled water. So that's why it's the most powerful water. God created this water to cleanse our body. We used to actually collect distilled water through rainwater on our houses. We used to have cisterns that would collect this water. Now we no longer do that. We switched to well water, which well water today especially, it's got a lot more issues today than it did back in the day. But even back in the day, it had the inorganic rock mineral issue. And so once people switched to that, they started getting very stiff, okay? That's where the stiff hunched backs come from. And we need to realize that the stiffness that's happening in our body, the calcification of all of our glands and organs, not just this pineal gland, but also our arterial glands, our venous system. You've heard of hardening of the arteries. I believe that it's also this contributes to that as well. All right, so it's not just the pineal gland that we're gonna help here by doing these protocols, it's your whole entire body. We're gonna rejuvenate your body on a cellular level, all right? So the next thing I'd like to talk about is hydration, okay? Now, not just from drinking water, because you can drink water until the cows come home, but if you don't get enough carbohydrates, there's a reason why hydrate is in that term, from sweet, juicy fruits, then we're not gonna be fully hydrated. That's why it's commonly known when you go keto, you lose 10 pounds of vital bodily water. Some people think that it's not vital bodily water, but it absolutely is. It's the water in our body that we so desperately need to hydrate our skin so that we have less wrinkles, to hydrate our pineal gland so that it functions properly, to hydrate our brain, our muscles. In fact, our muscles are mostly from water. So I actually focus on carbohydrates more than I do protein, which is another thing that we've been lied to about. Now I'm gonna fill you with information today. I hope that you're following along and you're appreciating this information. This channel is going to be about more than just the third eye, but that's the main focus. But when we're cleaning the third eye out, we're gonna actually clean the entire body out, because you can't just clean the third eye. It's just like losing weight. You can't just lose fat off of your abs. With the detoxification of your third eye, you can't just detox the third eye. You really have to detox the entire body from head to toe. All right, so there's a beautiful amount of other things that happen when we do this process. A lot of things that might be going wrong with your body. You may have different health maladies or diseases, and a lot of those things can melt away like they were never there. I was able to fix the big C in my esophagus. At the age of 17, I was diagnosed with this. Within a few years, it scared the crap out of me. So within a few years, I learned how to fix this, okay, through natural means. And this sent me on a tear. Once I was able to fix this, I went on a tear learning as much as I could about natural health. So I'm now 42 years old, and I've learned so much over the last 25 years in healing the body. And that's what eventually led me to cleaning out my third eye and realizing that there is a whole other world that we can tap into when we get this third eye cleaned off. And also, it's an indicator. So when you close your eyes and you look in the center of your vision and you see this light, you start astral traveling, this tells you that your pineal gland is fully decalcified and it's functioning at an optimal level. And there are so many other things linked to that working properly. So your memory, your ability to recall dreams, your ability to lucid dream, all of these things are linked to this thing functioning properly, as well as manifestation. So to be able to manifest your desired reality, your dreams, more easily and accurately, this is such a key part of getting that to work better. So if you've been studying manifestation, yes, the techniques that you've learned are probably very beneficial, but to enhance that, to make that work even better, it is very, very important that we clean our pineal gland off, because once the pineal gland and the whole entire body is cleaned out to a high degree, it turns us into a very strong magnet for all of our desires. So then we will start to be able to manifest everything that we've dreamed of very easily and very accurately and very quickly. All right, so these are the reasons why I think it's very beneficial, especially in this day and age, to do this as soon as possible. All right, so if you want to join my free community, I've got it listed in my description below. And if you want to book a call with me, you can also access that. You can also access my guide from the link below. I'll put all of that information down there. Please leave me a comment if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.